another beautiful morning with She Said Talks. I am Jan Jorgensen, and I'm the co-creator of She Said Talks with Anasuya Isaacs. This morning, I have two people that I have been, my heart has been bursting to interview because as I was teasing them, they've created a better mousetrap. Now, that's a funny word, but what it means is they brought something forward that mankind needs so much. And if I can bring this to women who are feeling unhappy and tortured in their successful lives with toxic partners, with males who haven't quite kept up with their spiritual and emotional and mental work, and enter Russel and Damaris Williamson. Welcome.
Hey,
Thank you. Thank you.
Delighted to be here.
We're getting right to the topic today, and these two delightful beings who just radiate integrity. When I saw their ad on Facebook, it felt like a light at the end of the tunnel. I empower women to become queens in their life, to have dominion over everything. But you may be in your 40s or 50s or 60s and find that your partner is a deterrent to your expansion and growth and success. Jealousy, whatever it is, often it's a combination of early wounding and narcissism. We'll touch upon that a little bit. But Dawn and Damaris are here to say, don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. They're going to talk about who they are, their work, and how they are helping 95% of women stay with their so-called toxic partners. This is breakthrough. This is amazing. So I'm going to bring up some questions that we together have designed to bring out, but I want to also mention on Facebook, when their ad said, are you a woman that has everything, but still has this underlying sense of unease, is this the right partner for me? It just sent bells off. And the way they said it, and the few times that I've had a chance to work with them and see how they work, it is the highest, truest, purest way to approach this global problem that is affecting homes, bedrooms, churches, and of course, authorities, political realms. So my first question is, people don't know you two. Here you are. Tell us where you live and tell us about yourselves.
Yeah, well, where we live that's the easy part. We're in beautiful Florida, chilly Florida right now, and so we are a husband and wife team that really have this burden to help women and to liberate women that as you said feel like they have no choice. They need to leave the marriage because their man is difficult, toxic, narcissistic, all of that stuff. So we just have this burden. We want to be helpful, and we are. And I think one of the interesting, exciting, and really actually very fun things about us and how we do what we do is we sort of joke together that I'm the science and Damaris is the spirituality, and so we're bringing both, and we tag team because Damaris can go places and express things that me and my male science brain are just never going to get to, and vice versa. So I think we're a great combo.
Yes, absolutely. And I think that too. We are a great combo. And thank you, Jane, so much to having us
Yeah,
here.
by the way.
This is such a beautiful place to be on a Monday morning. And I am so grateful for us and for you because you are in this mission um, to the wake up women's to this to bring their power back
Yeah.
and to be able to be freedom again and to have that freedom within. And that is absolutely amazing. And yes, going back to that conversation, it's amazing because we are a couple and we went through so much things before we got together, before we get married. And now we are understand the importance of loving yourself, of loving oneself. And
Mhm.
I believe, I strongly believe that that is the main thing that we women, queens, have to be focused on is love and honor ourselves first. And so then eventually, with that feeling within, you can be and have a beautiful, amazing relationship.
Mhm.
So what I'm hearing from that is that to come to the relationship as whole and as healed and to take full responsibility for your part before Dr. Phil used to say, don't let the door hit your butt on the way out, right? And that's what women heard is just leave it, don't let that door hit. So you're giving, and to me, this is also an alignment with queens holding the rudder for their life vibrationally. Because
Mm,
if a
Absolutely.
person holds a very high vibration consistently and is not correcting or giving advice, but just holds her own and feels
mm,
her intuition and just holds that and breathes it without fear or pushback, that truly is the best carrot to be that light, to be that high vibration. And science shows us that lower vibrations will very gently rise over time. Now, it won't be overnight.
mhm.
You
Yeah,
are absolutely right.
yeah,
It doesn't happen overnight.
So
yeah.
often, people that are doing your work, what I'm gleaning is this is potentially your second marriage. One or both of you have had difficult relationships before, have done some work and came together, and you
Mhm.
promised each other that you would work it out. And as a result, you're these teachers, these
Yeah,
master teachers.
yeah. So we're bringing like we are kind of implicitly we're bringing our own story because yeah, we've both been in previous relationships and both spent like a good season of time alone
Hmm.
and and really that was I think for both of us separately, right, in different places, literally different countries. We were healing ourselves, becoming whole within ourselves, truly loving and accepting ourselves. And so in one of our first conversations with each other, we were talking about how we don't need a partner, but you know, but a partner would be the cherry on top of of our own whole and complete self. And I'll tell you that that inner work that I did and that inner work that I feel that Damaris did along the way, it makes the it makes the biggest difference because um, we are two, and like I'm not boasting here. I'm just this is just observation. We're two secure people coming together instead of one or maybe two insecure people trying to get filled up by
Yes.
the other person, because that's a disaster sooner
Hmm.
or later.
So you
Yes.
weren't needy and you felt secure. Do you know that the scientific field now can show your voice print and the vibrations that you're short on? You will attract a person who has a huge amount of the same frequencies. So most relationships are unconsciously come together vibrationally as codependent. So this time apart, how much time did you take apart between relationships?
For me, 3 years being by myself.
That's
For me, it was about 5 years being by myself, and I feel like those years were so challenging and hard for me, but at the same time, those years kept me grounded because I literally, consciously, within my own divine self, I chose to heal myself and to be absolutely healed within and get ready to a new, fresh relationship.
Yeah.
and the payoff was great.
Absolutely.
In general, men bounce back into relationships a little bit sooner. So 3 years
Or,
is a good
yeah.
minimum, Dawn. Uh, so you two lovebirds, I mean, you just have such a beautiful resonance and respect. I can see, and your co-creation with the mental part and the feminine part. How did you actually meet?
Yeah. Well, I mean, we met. There's a book in South American literature called "Love in the Time of Cholera," and we met love in the time of COVID. So
In the middle of it.
so yeah, very very early on, well, 2020. So the first year of the COVID craziness. Out of we met online because again we actually like literally were in different countries. I was in Canada in a serious lockdown in Canada. Damaris was here in Florida, and we started chatting and connecting with again with that sort of spirit of um, let's see what happens. I don't need this to work, but let's see what happens. And things just progressed really very magically.
Very magically, very easily. Yes.
Dating service. I just looked at the data and it used to be 90% we would meet through friends, and now it's 90% through the internet. So which program did you use? People are going to want to know. Matchmaker or
I think if I remember correctly, it was
Yeah,
Cupid.
Cupid,
Cupid.
Latin Cupid, like
Cupid, yes.
the the angel Cupid with the arrow.
Yeah, yes.
a beautiful nuance and flavor there. So you met, and Don, I know that you have some degrees in counseling, and Damaris, you're just a natural sacred space feminine holder, almost like a high priestess. I mean, it's just so beautiful. Wonderment to observe. And again, a couple of sessions that I had with them, I was able to really feel into the quality and the depth of the work. But how did you choose to do this work, this niche, and also the branding is so spectacular
Mhm.
for successful, high-earning women looking over saying, is this the right partner? What brought you to that?
Yeah. Really, it was. I mean, I think it was an idea that was sitting in the back of my mind for a really a long time
Mm.
through my psychotherapy practice over the years. I've been doing psychotherapy, in the office, sort of conventional therapy for almost 30 years. Lots of couples, lots of individuals disgruntled in their relationships. And so I recognized that there's this gap um, of like nobody is helping, nobody knows how to help women, particularly, in the extremely difficult relationships. Like there's lots of resources for the normal like the normally difficult relationships where the couple just needs a little bit of coaching on, making I statements and the basics, which is great, which I love it. It's wonderful stuff. But I recognize, there just isn't anything um, in the Google space, and even amongst professionals. There's like, if you line up 10 therapists or 100 couples therapists, 99 of them would say you just leave the bum. That's what they say. So so and so talking together, we just sort of recognize there's this big hole here, and people are being, I mean, not to get too dramatic, but people are being lied to out there, being told that narcissists can't change, narcissists won't change, and so your only option is to leave him. It's not supported with the clinical research at all. It's that's there's no support for that. There is a growing body of support that if you kind of approach the individual or the relationship in the right way, absolutely narcissists can change and the relationship can be transformed. And we've seen it, again and again and again.
Maybe psychology has outdated approaches, and the actual therapists are frustrated that they can't get the narcissist to change. So, what you've done again is an out of the box work with expanding women who are mastering their consciousness. Now, there has to be a key in the lock theory here vibrationally. What kind of woman who wants to emerge as a queen, a leader who can handle authorities at the table of power, would choose an alpha male that would teach her every day, would strengthen her chops to hold her power. So that's why this is so timely. I feel that you are helping the emerging voice of the divine feminine come out more powerfully, and you have gold mine to find these people. So I've kind of already said it, but what vibrational program would make a woman choose a partner like this to begin with? Her wounding, she's an empath, she wants to be stronger, he's her Pluto in astrology. What do you think?
Wow, that's a great question. I think it is. I think so. I'll start here very, very generally. Um, Women and men both they want to be with a partner that kind of you know completes them. Like
They all say in the movie.
like the movie, whatever that movie is, I forget now. There's that classic scene that,
You complete me.
yeah, if you complete me. Every week I make fun of that scene from Hollywood. But there's something in there that you know, unconsciously we recognize deficits in ourselves, and unconsciously we seek to, find a person who fills in those deficits. And that's not a bad thing, but that can go off the rails very, very badly. Um, if a woman is unconsciously seeking out a man that is that alpha male aggressive person, but if he's missing the I guess you could almost say his own sort of feminine side. Well, he's not missing
Empathy,
it.
like empathy and
Yeah,
remorse and
let me
kindness.
clarify. He's not missing it. He has suppressed it.
So the woman can bring that to the alpha male.
Yes, yes,
So the masculine in that way.
yeah, and if she's done her work, then she can kind of call that out in a way that will be received well by the man. If she
And he's not defensive with her empowerment, with her
precisely,
kindness.
precisely, yeah, yeah.
This is the key. The whole thing for our times is balancing the masculine and feminine. The patriarchy
Absolutely.
had its way
Yeah.
with women, with the earth, with the monetary system.
Mhm, mhm,
So by your working with the emerging feminine leaders, it's healing the masculine as well. And you put your finger on it. She wants what he has, his power, and she knows she can't do it the old way.
mhm,
So
mhm.
she's going to add her spice in of truth, beauty, goodness, and kindness, and kind of watch how he plays that game of marbles at the big boy table. Believe me, I've had some experience at this myself, starting with my father, okay? And
Yeah,
the question is who makes the decisions and why? And
right, right.
I actually wrote a book called Guy's Guide to the Divine Feminine because so many of my female clients were just going to leave their marriage. I said, no, this is a book for your husband. In
Mhm,
very big print, not very many pages to say, your wife is changing. You can support and go along with this, or chances are she will leave you. But I didn't have the medicine, and you're the medicine.
mhm. Yeah. You know, if in this conversation, and for, your audience listening, they're listening in sort of a calm, cool, collected space. And so their, their fight, flight, freeze system is quieted and their frontal cortex is online so they can think clearly. And so they will understand, we will all understand, and we'll get this. I'll just use Damaris and myself as, as examples. When I'm thinking clearly, I know that what's best for me is if Damaris reaches her full divine potential. That's really the best thing for me. And vice versa. Damaris knows when she's thinking clearly, like she is right now, that the very best thing for her, what will prosper her, is if I am reaching my best potential. Like it's the expression, the rising tide lifts all ships. That's when we're thinking clearly. What happens in difficult relationships is the fight, flight, freeze system is activated. We're not thinking clearly anymore. And it starts to feel like a zero-sum game
Mm.
between the couple. Like in order for me to be okay, I have to take things away. I have to
Mm.
diminish my partner. And same for Damaris. If she's feeling under threat in her spirit, then she'll she doesn't do this, but she would look for ways to diminish me, to take away from me, to um, you know, to to kind of sabotage me.
Mhm.
And of course, that's a disaster. So again, we come back to the very best thing, and the very essential thing is, for one way or the other, the individuals need to they need to access security within themselves,
Mhm. Mhm.
so that we're coming to our partner in an unthreatened state.
Right, right. And I think that is so super essential in our world for us females, because I absolutely believe that we have such a power within us
Mm,
that we don't know because along the way on our life, from the school system and the political system and country system, they taught us that we are just women that need to take care of the kids, take care of the husband, take care of the house,
mhm,
and we grew up with that mentality, kind of oppression within us,
mhm,
without realizing the power that we have within us. And absolutely, and I can say, and I experienced that when I feel within me empowered and I feel that sense of freedom. That is one of the things that and I even talked to Don a lot about, that is the freedom within me, allows me to grow even better the relationship, and also allowing him to feel free within him. And even though we are a team working together and doing things together, but at the same time, his own power, my own power, and then we match and we meet in the middle, and we can have a beautiful life. And I absolutely sure that any woman can have that power back, and that strength, and that belief, deep belief, that we women are super, super powerful.
And it comes from this deep, deep safety that many of us did not have in our formative years. So I want to point out your methodology is similar to mine, that you are able to access by light trance states to go into certain parts of your chronological timeline and reparent or heal or work with that part. For instance, mine at 3 years old, I had an unusual situation. And so it's like the Russian dolls, that part of myself wasn't quite integrated. So
Mm.
you gave me some exercises in ideation, and I went in, and it actually was so empowering to have that piece of myself back. So talk a little bit about your approach in that way. How your appointments, do you have 5 in a row, 8 in a row? How you pace them? A little bit about your program.
Ooh la la. Yeah. Yeah, what we do is we work with, first of all, it need to be clear, we work with the woman. Sometimes people ask us, if your goal is to improve the relationship, why wouldn't you work with both parties? And I guess the practical answer is, well, he won't show up. So why even invite him? He won't show up. But also because ironically, it's actually more effective to be working with the woman. Generally speaking, she's going to be more receptive. Generally speaking, she's going to be the one that has the best insight and awareness into the relationship.
And motivation.
And motivation, yeah. And again, going back to my psychotherapy practice, if I am working with a couple and I want an accurate assessment about how is the relationship going, I'm asking her, right? She's the one that's going to have the best insight awareness and probably the most honest answer. Okay, so we work with her. We work with her, generally speaking, once a week for 8 weeks. So a very
Targeted.
targeted and really, frankly, fast-paced process. Once a week for an hour on Zoom, just like we're having this conversation. And we're doing two things. We're working really at the heart level, at the nervous system level. And we're building in the nervous system, in the heart, like in the body. We're building the felt experience of I am loved. So that's just a deep conviction that the woman has. I'm safe and secure. I am protected, so the feeling that somebody has my back. So it's like we're loading the nervous system, which is where the fight, flight, freeze response comes from. We're actually loading that with the good stuff. And at the same time, we're clearing the old trauma survival responses, clearing them out. Right? It's the emotional reactivity, the fear, the anxiety, the dread, the resentment, which, as you say, Jan, typically it's those experiences and those reactions are being ratified in the marital relationship, but they actually have a much older history in the woman. And so we're working sort of in the present and in the past at the same time to clear out those really old emotional, spiritual, psychological wounds. And miracle of miracles, when we do that work, then she's calm, safe, and secure.
Right.
And she can engage with her husband as if he's not a grizzly bear.
That's
Because
a
she,
good analogy, because often of these wounded king-like males, out of the blue comes those sharp talons, just when you think everything's fine, to let you know who's in charge.
right, right, which is trauma talking, guaranteed. And so the important piece, I just want to sort of include this because things won't make a lot of sense otherwise. You mentioned earlier, Jan, that it's about the frequency, and so as we do this work, what we are accomplishing for her, which is of immense value, is we're helping her to naturally live in a higher frequency: gratitude, appreciation, love, serenity,
Compassion, yeah,
compassion.
absolutely.
And what we know about, I call it interpersonal neurobiology. Jan, you call it energetic connection.
Connection, yeah.
That her higher frequency will be communicated to her partner. It's contagious, like a virus. Because as you mentioned, yeah, like over time, frequencies match.
Absolutely.
So
Her queenliness is no drama. It has a sense of safety, inclusivity, and allowance, almost like the safe mother that a lot of men didn't have.
exactly.
Exactly,
It's
yes.
okay to be yourself. Put your guard down, put your weapons down.
Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
And we have just an amazing and wonderful collection of stories from women who have experienced that. That for some reason this week my husband, like, he greeted me at the door with a hug, like and she's mystified. How did that happen? And she's wondering, like,
Yeah.
what magic, what
She
sorcery did you
changed
guys
her
do?
vibration. She's approachable. She's dropped her
Exactly,
thorns. Her
Exactly.
thorns, and she just became the rose. So essentially, you're helping women thrive in difficult relationships through this process. 8 weeks. Believe me, it's worth the money. Think of all the psychotherapy. Think of the autoimmune diseases. Think of the inflammation that is built up, the cortisol. You really are the answer to women's health sanity.
Truly, I mean, thank you. We appreciate that so
yeah,
much.
absolutely.
And it's like it's true,
It's so true, definitely.
because again, when that stress response, when that fight, flight, freeze response is chronically turned on,
Yes.
our our stress response system and our immune response system are intimately related.
Oh, yes.
And
Yes.
so
Inflammation, lymphatic, and then you have sensitivity. And I don't think people really put the pieces. Well, I'm a nurse and energy healer and a leadership emergence mentor. So obviously, I guess it was my job. And to find divine guidance,
mhm.
like you too. I mean, in fact, Don and Damaris, is that how I say it? Damaris?
Yes,
Don,
yes, yes.
Don Damaris dynamic duo. The 4Ds. You are the answer, not just to the feminine woes, but the masculine woes, because they are moving into the realm of divine alignment and order as well, moving out of patriarchy. They're confused. They say that 40% of young women have no partners that they would want to partner up with moving forward. They say that countries who have feminine leadership have much higher scores of well-being. So there's a lot at stake here, and you're getting to the heart of the problem. So we are coming to the end of our talk together. What is one thing that you could tell a woman in a difficult relationship to help her today now?
What's one thing? How about two things?
Reach out for help.
You have the microphone.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. As Damaris says, reach out for help, because there is hope. Despite all of the all of the opinions out there on in the Google verse, there is help and there is hope. That's one thing. So reach out. The other thing I would add. So this is two. Is I think people generally, that we're talking about women, need to be actually quite mindful and discerning about from whom they get their support and their sort of listening ear. Is that friend raising her energy or lowering her frequency?
Yeah.
Right. We can. It can be very tempting to get into
Very
true.
true.
A conversation with a sister or a girlfriend, and it becomes a griping, hateful conversation.
That or that male session, and
Yeah.
he's crummy. You're right. You're right. So many are quick to come in and support you, and they have very little facts.
Yeah.
And then you begin shifting your thinking of potential.
Right. So yeah. So find a friend, find a sister that is encouraging, is edifying to you, hope giving. Somebody that is bringing their own gratitude and appreciation for life. That's going to be a healthy place to get support.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. And
Very
I wanted to add this a little, that you talked a lot about that, Jen, which is the high vibration. And I think we women have to be very mindful of keeping our high vibration all the time, independently of the female part, the male part, but also just for us, for our own well-being. We have to be in that high vibration, because out there, forgive my language, but there is so much crap out there. So we need to be so aware of that, and kind of be always in that, yes, I wanted to be in that high vibration, because you don't know when something is going to be thrown to you. So you
Yeah.
have to be ready, and you have to be always keep it that high vibration within, so that way you will be feel safe, and you also can save your relationship, save your not just with the husband or the partner, but also out there in general. Because it's easy when you have that high vibration, you can go to the grocery store and do normal things, and people, you can see how people are very stressful, for example. But if you have that high vibration, it's easy to help someone else there to kind of slow down and breathe. Did that make sense?
So we're talking about self-care and keeping that feminine picture full so it has something to share. So you mentioned don't be around whiners, be around high vibration people. For myself, I'll just go across the street in beautiful Port Townsend and get a high-end box of chocolates. That's my self-care. So what do you do for self-care? What is your feminine go-to? Do you like baths, walks? How do you keep your vibration high?
What I do is, even when I woke up in the middle of the night, let's say 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, the first thing I do is to bring my hands into my heart, and do a few breathing in and out, very super slow, and be aware of my body. Kind of, I scan in my body where my body is not rested, for example. So I start right there. And then in the morning, I wake up pretty early and I do a short meditation. I connect with my higher being, with God, and I pray, and then I exercise. I do 30 minutes, 45 minutes, and then at the end I do yoga, and then at the end of the yoga, the shavasana, resting, and the last part is appreciation and being thankful.
Mm.
So appreciation and gratitude for what I just did and for what I feel at that moment. So that is my routine of taking care of me.
That's the perfect manifesto for the divine feminine to stay out of chaos right there. Thank you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's been delightful, and I have so many other questions to ask, but we'll do that on another interview. And I would like to just see, are there any, you've given us so many nuggets and words of wisdom. Is there any last thing that you would like to say to women who are hanging on to your every word as specialists, who are going to go home and there is their toxic partner? What can you say?
uh, well, hold on and hang on, because change is possible.
Mhm.
Sometimes I quote that serenity prayer, God grant me the courage to change the things I can't accept, and the serenity to accept the things I can't change, and the wisdom to know the difference. I would like to rewrite it and introduce another line that is, give me the frequency to influence a person that I can't control.
Oh, I love that. That's my language.
Mhm.
um, because we do have this interpersonal influence
Yes,
that's not through words, it's not through body language, it's through our energy.
Mhm.
And
exactly.
there's tremendous power there that most of us aren't aware of.
As you were speaking, um, I'm seeing a mobile for the relationship, and it changes as we change. And your work is going into the most chaotic, trauma ridden, and bringing it to a stable place of hopefully some more trust, security, reciprocity, and love. And that is the greatest thing for the planet. So, would you like to have any last words, Damaris?
You know what? Yes, I would love to say to just take another step
Mm.
and go within, fearless, understanding the power within us, understanding that we have the power to illuminate not just us, but also the world. I love that so much. And I think we have that power to illuminate and to be so empowered and to be able to empower other women
Mhm.
around the world. Definitely, yes.
Well, I'm drinking up every word here. And again, thank you for coming, Don Russell, Damaris Williamson, to be a very stellar guest, bringing the new mousetrap. I'm going to have to think of a better word for that, but people get that. You're bringing a new template for
Yeah.
healing the most insidious imbalance for mankind for eons. So blessings on your work. There will be right in this YouTube, you're probably going to see it right now, how to contact this couple and begin your journey for healing your relationship. Again, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the women and men in the world. Blessings.
Thank you, Jen,
Yeah.
to having us.
Thank you
You
so
have a
much.
beautiful day and so much love and light to all the women around the world.
Yeah, to the whole audience.
Namaste.
Namaste. I wanted to say a few words about this mental illness category of narcissism. We all know that narcissist was a person who was in love with himself, and look at his picture, but I don't think in general that people really understand the complex, very boilerplate realm of how narcissists relate in the world. Narcissists are wounded and create a false self. A covert narcissist is not the braggart type, but will always manipulate and lie and gaslight and go ghost you because they can't bear reality. They have this false self. And so they are very, very, very difficult to be in a relationship with, and usually have serial relationships with what they call new supply. They're in one relationship and they're always flirting and trying to be with someone else. And they have an overlaying addiction to kind of calm down those feelings of worthlessness. The overt narcissist, of course, is the bolstering on this, on that, the real assholes. And with all of the above, they will lie, cheat, addictions, the whole deal. But I don't think people, again, quite understand that a lot of people in political leadership roles are essentially archetype narcissistic behavior. They will tell you whatever they think you need to hear to vote them in. And once they're voted in, they have no remorse. They will do anything and never feel bad or guilty. They can't have any empathy. They can't feel what other people are feeling. Everything is about them. Everything. And they will betray and hurt even those closest to them because they have no understanding of reciprocity and fairness and justice. So we need to begin to identify narcissistic qualities or full-blown narcissistic mental illness among our leaders and understand that it is a wolf in sheep's clothing. So I'm just going a little bit further because we did mention narcissists with Dawn and Damaris about the potential for your toxic partner having that personality profile. Go ahead and Google it and watch some YouTubes too, and you'll really be up on narcissism. And you might even see some parts of yourself that have some subtle nuances of narcissism. It's just when it becomes sociopathic or psychopathic that it really is a deterrence for a drama-free, non-chaos zone of developing the trust and security that we need to move forward as a species in benevolent ways. Blessings.
So delicious. So if you're part of the caravan tour, you got to come over here and do like this.
Oh yeah, baby. Queen.
Queen the queen.
Well,
You got to give her a hug.
You're like the queen.
Oh.
Queen of Queens energy. Yeah.
Well, we'll just share it. We'll share the title. Okay, hold on.
Totally.
Share the crown.
Okay. Da-da, da-da-da-da. All right.